This video is brought to you by NordVPN. Head over to nordvpn.com/YBOC to get a huge discount off a 2-year plan and a month free. Plus, it just really helps the show.
Hey there, nerds, it's me, fully legal and ready to make you tingle, Dr. Jordan Breeding. You're watching the new dawn of your brain on crack, the only legitimate show on the internet, and the only show on crack fully aligned to lawful evil. And since we're now a fully functioning above-board operation, let's start by diagnosing something fun and low-key. Easter eggs are, by definition, fun little extras. They're usually well hidden and rarely necessary and almost always made of light stuff. Never does an Easter egg shatter your hold on reality or make you question the fundamentals of your existence or send you reeling with existential horror. Until today. The 1981 film Raiders of the Lost Ark centers on a quest for the Ark of the Covenant, the box that Moses sort of carried God around in whenever he wasn't a pillar of fire or a bush of fire, a man on fire.
They stick it in their body, they tuck it up their rectum.
But anyway, what we know for sure is the Ark figures pretty centrally into Judeo-Christian mythology and also is filled with enough divine power to melt the shit out of some Nazi faces. But what's weird is that apparently the Ark wasn't first given to Moses, but rather a pair of Twi'leks. Here's the Ark in Raiders, an ornate golden box with a relief set into the side and winged bird people guys on top. Now here it is in Star Wars The Clone Wars, wherein 2 trunk-headed Twi'leks load what is clearly the Ark of the Covenant into a spaceship. We already know characters from the Star Wars universe came to Earth in humanity's ancient past because of the literal writing on the literal wall. Those are hieroglyphics depicting C-3PO and R2-D2 visible inside the ancient tombs that Indy explores in Raiders. But does this mean that there was never a Hebrew God in the first place? After all, we've seen Star Wars characters mistaken for gods before.
It's against my programming to impersonate a deity.
The Bible claims the Israelites built the Ark themselves, but what if that's just a cover for this crazy alien weapon the ancient Israelites discovered wedged between some rocks? Like, maybe aliens built the Ark, but quickly realized it was far too powerful, and they abandoned it on what would have been, at the time, an uninhabited Earth. And there it sat for thousands of years until one day it was discovered by a bearded man. A bearded man who was once seen moving impossibly large objects with his mind. Maybe a bearded man who once kissed his sister. They look pretty similar to me.
God opens his with a blast of his.
What if all the miracles in Exodus were actually the work of someone with knowledge of the Force? Or at least somebody who figured out how to harness the incredible power of this extremely advanced alien technology to make like so many locusts. Kind of makes all those wars fought for religious reasons feel even stupider, but also it sort of makes the reveal at the end of Crystal's Skull kind of brilliant, doesn't it? Gotcha, you freaking nerds! Speaking of movies that rewrote the origins of Judaism on a whim, at one point in the Die Hard spinoff, Home Alone, Kevin McCallister takes a break from bludgeoning adult men within an inch of their life to catch a flick. The movie he chooses is called Angels with Filthy Souls, and much like my virginity, it doesn't exist.
Two kids, dog.
2 kids, bruh.
No clothes on anybody. Sickening.
See, Angels with Filthy Souls only exists in the Home Alone universe. Also the Pokemon universe. See, in the movie Deadpool with Fewer Baby Dicks, or as it's known in America, Detective Pikachu, protagonist Tim Goodman enters his father's abandoned apartment and wouldn't you know it, Angels with Filthy Souls is playing on the TV. But how is that even possible? Pokemon lore seems to suggest that the Pokemon world is distinct from Earth. That is, it's not like Canada just gets renamed Sinnoh one day in the future when they realize rocks have arms now and can punch people. But yet in the Pokemon anime, Brock references the biblical story of Noah and the flood featured in the Old Testament, which was a thing I think we all assumed was about Earth and not just like a loose retelling of the time I beat the shit out of Misty in Cerulean City. Okay, let's back up a bit. Pokemon mythology claims that before the existence of anything, a single egg popped into being, from which hatched Arceus, the first Pokemon in existence and a mythical being who ultimately creates other Pokemon who together go on to create all of creation, eventually culminating with this dumbass thing. One of the Pokemon Arceus creates is named Kyogre, a legendary Pokemon who, according to the Pokédex and Sapphire, once expanded the sea by covering the land with torrential rains and towering tidal waves, as in, one time the dude created a massive, maybe planet-covering flood. Could this be the flood that Noah and his family survived? And if so, did Noah not only have to save 2 of every normal-ass animal like cows and shit, but also every Pokemon? Does this make Noah the original Pokemon master?
Gotta catch 'em all!
But so in Home Alone, we see Kevin hide in a nativity scene and offer up a prayer for his macaroni, suggesting that traditional Christianity exists in that universe, including presumably the story of Noah. That plus angels with filthy souls implies that at some point the Earth we see in Home Alone does transform and become the basic building blocks of the Pokemon universe. And the only cultural holdovers appear to be the story of Noah and this random movie about nasty cherubim, which somehow isn't a porno.
Get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your full of.
Did Kai Ogre create a second planetary flood that nearly obliterated humanity, and the only guy to survive that flood also happened to be named Noah in this weird, insane, cyclical cosmic coincidence? It's unclear, and we don't have enough information about that transitionary period to speculate too far, but it doesn't matter anyway because that's not the truly crazy part. The crazy part is that Kevin's prayer about his nutritious macaroni was apparently heard by the only God this universe has ever known. Not the Jewish or Christian or any other God, but by this bullshit space goat.
Bless his highly nutritious microwavable macaroni and cheese dinner.
You shall be brought to justice!
The one true God is apparently weak against fighting Pokemon, but also immune to ghosts, which makes as much sense as anything, I guess.
Arceus has to be using the life plates to defend against its opponent's attacks.
Amen.
Okay, now I'm wondering if Moses and Star Wars are also in the Pokemon universe, or maybe Macaulay Culkin is Jesus? No, that's crazy. Let's just move on. Okay, well, apparently Academy Award-winning director and InfoWars Man of the Year-winning anti-Semite Mel Gibson has a bit of a silly side.
You are provocatively dressed all the time with your fake boobs.
In 2006, Gibson released APOCALYPTO, a movie that imagines the collapse of the Mayan Empire as one long-ass chase scene interspersed with extremely horrific, often booby-trap-based violence. It's basically Home Alone Mesoamerica, which makes it Die Hard Mesoamerica? Man, this episode is becoming incestuous. We'll just call it Die Hard Friday Nights at the Lannisters, America. But okay, so whatever. The point is that lots of Mayans die, and at some point the movie's main character, Jaguar Paw, stumbles upon a mass grave full of aforementioned dead Mayans, and exactly one Waldo. Yeah, seriously, that Waldo. How did this guy, best known for wearing obnoxious sweaters amongst extremely COVID-unsafe beach crowds, end up in a 16th century mass grave? Well, by using his magic walking stick, obviously. Try to keep up, you stupid pieces of shit.
Hit it. Where's Wally?
See, Where's Waldo isn't just a book series, it's also a TV show that aired for a single season in 1991, from which we can learn a lot about the strange man's powers and motivations. The template for each episode basically involves Waldo heading somewhere to solve a problem as sent by an actual wizard named Whitebeard, who's a little less Gandalf and a little more
Harry Potter, he ain't nothing but a bitch.
Fortunately for Whitebeard, Waldo can travel to literally any time or any dimension because, again, magic walking stick. Waldo mostly performs pretty basic fetch quests, like helping some Vikings find a magical horn, but a surprising number of episodes feature Waldo's attempts to protect the environment, like the time he does battle with an evil knight to save a forest.
We need your help, Mudmen! The evil knights are threatening the forest!
That's important because APOCALYPTO portrays the Mayan civilization as extremely wasteful and exploitative of natural resources. They're brutalizing the environment and causing ecological damage on an unprecedented scale. Whitebeard must have learned about their destructive tendencies and sent Waldo back in time to help lessen their ecological impact. And sure, Waldo probably tried to be a nice guy at first, but the Mayans in APOCALYPTO are human sacrificing level vicious. Why would they listen to this asshole who puts glasses on his dog?
Oops, sorry.
It is much more likely they'd huck him in a mass grave and call it a day.
Oops, sorry.
However, they didn't account for Waldo surviving, crawling out, and destroying their entire way of life. But how does Waldo gain the power to topple an entire empire? Is that magic stick also a nuke? Well, in the season finale of his show, Waldo travels back to visit the Aztecs, and during his time there learns of a golden headdress of immense power. Only one who is worthy may wear it, but a villain touches it, causing the pyramid in which it's housed to collapse, and the guy who touched it grows a bunch of chicken feathers, and it's actually a pretty great show.
In case you don't realize it, this is exciting.
This is exciting!
Waldo returns to his own time, but still knows the exact location of the headdress, and if there's one thing that the show demonstrates about Waldo, it's that he's the nicest guy ever. Surely he's worthy of that headdress were he to go back in time and find it. And in 1502, the Aztecs and Mayans were close enough together geographically that even if the Mayans destroyed Waldo's magic walking stick, or there was some rule about golden headdresses not being allowed to travel via walking stick power, Waldo could have presumably still hiked over to the Lost Pyramid, grabbed the headdress, come back to the Mayan capital, and then burn that bitch to the ground, obliterating their civilization in a way that even 500 years later, we don't fully understand.
You ain't heard nothing yet.
All because we didn't appreciate Wally's World enough when it was on the air. And then maybe the Mayans became Jewish. I think. I don't know. Let's just talk about a kid's movie.
Oh, hey, I'd like a large pepperoni pizza, please. Oh.
As we all know, Pixar is known for sneaking cute little extras into their films. The same pizza truck can be seen in multiple movies from Brave to Wall-E, the toys from Toy Story lounge in the background of Up and Finding Nemo, and the crushing sense that life is tragically brief can be found hiding in everything they do.
And don't you ever touch me again!
If I was a little crazier, maybe a little more conspiracy-minded, I might speculate that because these details tie their universes together, the Pixar Extended Universe is supposed to be read as a single grand apocalypse tale about cars taking over the world and putting humankind on a space timeout, and also how your toys watch you masturbate, Dave! But I don't want to worry about anything else that existential today, so let's just look at one little fun Easter egg that implies that some of our most beloved characters are living out a purgatorial nightmare existence. See, the post-apocalyptic children's film Wall-E takes place in 2805. It opens on Robot Garbage Man returning to his post-apocalyptic garage shed thing packed with junk from the time before humankind's departure. In it, we see Rex. And because of Pixar's love of crossovers, this is presumably the exact same Rex doll that Andy had 810 years prior in Toy Story. Later, we learn humans left Earth in 2105 after it became too toxic to live there, which means that even if it isn't Andy's Rex, the toy is still at least 700 years old. And since the toys in Pixar films are sentient, feeling creatures, this immortal doll has watched the Earth slowly die for centuries, along with everything he holds dear. Every other toy he knows is apparently gone, like buried beneath the immense piles of garbage or incinerated and smashed into cubes during the cleanup. Rex has seen Andy, Andy's mom, and Andy's sister either leave or die and the Earth transform into an unlivable wasteland. And I don't know what percentage of humanity was able to fit on the luxury cruisers that we see traveling through space, but it's safe to assume that it's not 100%.
Were you scared? Tell me honestly.
There aren't any humans around, so I'm assuming that the reason Rex isn't moving isn't because he's still pretending to be a toy. It's because he's in catatonic shock after watching Bo Peep crushed under a mountain of noxious scrap metal.
It's okay.
What? No.
But maybe that's the fate of all of us. What if we're nothing but the playthings of godlike powerful aliens and goat god Pokemon, distracting ourselves with fun kids movies while our world crumbles around us and hoping that there's an answer we can find in this chaos, and when really, oh, I found him! Okay, I'm gonna do something different with this ad. Instead of telling you a bunch of numbers and a bunch of stats and explaining why NordVPN is the best thing in the world, I'm just gonna show you how to freaking use it if you had it. So, right now, NordVPN is not turned on. I am in America, spoiler alert, and I wanna watch Always Sunny on Netflix. But they don't have it! Oh, gasp! So what I'm gonna do instead, close Chrome. You have to fully close the browser that you're using. I'm gonna open up freaking NordVPN, and I'm going to say, I wonder if they have it in the United Kingdom. I'm pretty sure they do. So I open that. Now that I'm connected, my IP address says that I'm in the UK. I go back to Chrome. I open Netflix. I go, what they watching? Do you have Always? Oh, they have Always Sunny. They have all 15, 14 seasons of it. And I can watch it right now. I'm not going to watch much because we'll get demonetized. You know, but that's it. That's literally all you have to do. And now I'm watching whatever the heck I want, whenever I want. And there are articles all over the website to tell you which sites or which countries' versions of Netflix have certain shows or certain movies. And so that's it. Just do that. And then you basically just need to subscribe to one service. And then you could pull all the things from all over the world. And all you got to do to get it is go to nordvpn.com/YBOC, sign up today. I don't know what the current deal is, so we'll just like flash a title card here that tells you all the things. But it's secure. It works in like 60 countries.
Also, I forgot to mention this at the time, but there's a 30-day risk-free guarantee, which means if you don't like it, and if you can't figure out how to make Chrome work or whatever, you get all your money back. It's literally no risk. It's perfect. It's magical.
And you watch whatever you want. It's great. Done. Subscribe. Help us.